100-ish Easter eggs in Taylor Swift's new music video, you say? It's like I was made for this. Welcome back to New Rockstars. I'm Erik Voss, and this is a breakdown of all of the Easter eggs that you might have missed in Taylor Swift's The Fate of Ophelia music video from her Life of a Showgirl album. Despite the word Rockstars being in our channel name, we rarely do music video analysis content here. We're better known for finding Easter eggs in Marvel movies, Star Wars, DC, and other nerdy fandoms. But from Jessica Clemens unpacking the beef between Kendrick Lamar and Drake, to me breaking down Taylor Swift's relationship timeline with Travis Kelce and how that created kind of a media firestorm that crossed over into Deadpool during the 2024 NFL playoffs, there comes a time when our nerdy Easter egg hunting crosses over into other fandoms, and whatever higher power exists calls upon us to do this sacred work for those who never asked us to do it. And look, I know I'm not the internet's go-to source for Taylor Swift news, theories, and Easter eggs. I do not intend to ever become that, and I don't expect every Swiftie out there to adopt me as one of their own just because I once broke down all too well in a Twitter thread, because I proposed to my wife to love her, and because my wife and sister and I took our niece to see the Eras movie. I do not live this the way you all do, but I do think this might be a rare circumstance where I can be of service to break down the promised 100-ish Easter eggs and details hidden in this music video. So let's take a crack at this. Let's get started. 1. In the opening shot of the trailer, you get the name of this track. The second floor railing say the and Fate. The 7th step up says of, and the floor carpet says Ophelia. Boom, 1. Or really, let's count that as 4 because she said ish. Number 5, on the upper floor behind the chandelier, the mural shows Taylor Swift as well as her songwriters Max Martin and Shellback. So that's another 3. Haha. 8, we see a cleaning cart, which is a reference to how Taylor Swift sneakily entered stage for her Eras show, which fans were able to figure out after she posted a photo from inside of it. 9, the movie poster in the background on the left reads Female Rage, and Female Rage the musical is what Taylor Swift called the Tortured Poets Department section of the Eras tour. 10, on the right, there's another poster for Wood, which is another one of the tracks on this album. So we go from the era that Taylor Swift considered herself part of before she met Travis Kelce to a reference to what era he now represents in her life. 11, behind the cleaning cart is this painting, the Ophelia painting by Sir John Everett Millais from 1852. Taylor recreates this in the final shot of the music video. 12, the camera glides over to this painting on the left where Taylor is presented as Ophelia from a different painting, Friedrich Wilhelm Theodor Heiser's painting from 1900 that depicts the figure from Shakespeare's Hamlet after she took her life via drowning. 13, the lyric heard you calling on the megaphone and her dancer screaming through a studio megaphone is a reference to Travis Kelce calling Taylor out on his podcast New Heights, where he tried to give her a friendship bracelet with his number on it at a Kansas City show of the Eras tour, but was not able to meet her, and that's the lore of how their relationship began. 14, the orange bird that becomes very important in this music video that later lands on her finger flaps past briefly here, but we'll come back to this. 15, as we transition from this setup, we see a peek backstage, and there are 12 orange stars hanging, a reference to The Life of a Showgirl being her 12th album, and her using these 12 orange stars as Easter eggs in various marketing plugs to tease the drop of this album. 16, we also see Taylor's backup singers as the siren singers that will later show up on the ship setup. They're getting ready in the background here. 17, in the next painting setup, we see a Scottish fold statue referencing her cat, Olivia Benson. 18, on the table is a loaf of sourdough bread, a reference to her interview for New Heights where she said that she bakes sourdough bread for everyone, and she talks about bread 60% of the time. She loves baking, and in the behind the scenes movies she made for this, she was like, oh my god, my bread gets to be in it. It's a bread that she actually baked. 19, there's also a string of pearls here, a reference to the lyric I took her pearls of wisdom, hung them from my neck from the Life of a Showgirl track. 20, there's also a peach, a reference to the lyric you're sweeter than a peach from the same track. And then 21, the orange bird comes back, an object of many theories and speculation here, but it could be a reference to Taylor wearing that orange outfit when she was in the giant bird cage in the Look What You Made Me Do music video that maybe referred to her being a caged bird at that point in her career, and now that she is in control of her masters, she's now a free bird. 22, you'll notice the bird flies out of the frame here to show it even breaking free from the temporary reality that Taylor is currently in. 23, as the setup moves away, a few life preservers topple off the stack in the background. 24, Taylor's backup dancer Cam Saunders hands her a long match, which you could interpret as Cam being the matchmaker who in a way connected Taylor to Travis Kelce because Cam's brother Kalen plays on the Kansas City Chiefs. So in a way, he was the one who kind of helped this flame spark. 25. Behind them, we see a green exit sign. Now, there's definitely something to the exit signs in this music video, because in Taylor's bit with Jimmy Fallon, there were 2 exit signs posted strategically behind her. There is a red colored exit sign and the backstage hallway later. There are many details in this music video that might just be Easter eggs that set up something later on in Taylor's career, and we don't even know that they're Easter eggs yet. 26. In general, there is an alternating orange versus green color scheme to this music video. 27. We transition to backstage, where Taylor now dons the look of one of the most famous Hollywood showgirls, Marilyn Monroe. 28. On the right side of this hallway, as you approach the dressing room, are the professional headshots of the Eras Tour dancers. 29. As Taylor walks into the dressing room, one of the dancers does this kind of booty pop, a reference to the choreography of the vigilante shit dance from the Eras Tour. 30. The time on the clock here reads 10:03, a reference to this album's release date on October 3rd. 31. On the mirror on the left is a photo of Travis Kelce, but there are 2 layers to this one. This isn't just any photo. It's a photo of Travis Kelce from his 2016 interview with Christina Zias, where he first responded to Taylor Swift in a Marry, Kiss, Kill segment.
Taylor Swift would be the kiss.
And interestingly, this interview was resurfaced on October 3rd, 2 years ago in 2023. Taylor also references this moment with Travis Kelce in So High School. And since that was 2 details, we move on to 33. Another mirror photo shows Dita Von Teese, a reference to Taylor's Bejeweled music video Dance in a Martini Glass. 34. Another photo on this mirror shows Taylor's grandmother, Marjorie Finlay. 35. We now find ourselves at a nightclub, and Taylor Swift leads a 3-woman singing group, kind of like the Ronettes or the musical Dreamgirls. 36. Now Taylor's on a ship with a wind chime. This ship seems to be a reference to Odysseus' ship in the Odyssey. There's a lot of references here. 37. She wears what you could say is an opalite ring, which could be a reference to her song Opalite, which is also a nod to opal being Travis Kelce's birthstone. Yep, there's a lot going on there. 38. Taylor has a long red wig that many are speculating to be a reference to Florence in the Machine. 39. Her dress has the heart embroidered on it. We're calling her sequined heart on the Reputation jacket. 40. Eras Tour dancers return here, including Jan Ravnik, who's now on Dancing with the Stars, a show I actually worked on for seasons 11 and 12. Jan is caressing the ladder here on the ship, a nod to his ladder choreography and the Lavender Haze performances of Eras. 41. The sirens in the water are, of course, Taylor's backup singers from Eras. I assume they're sirens and not mermaids. Sirens would make more sense if they are singing the siren call and they are backup singers. 42. Taylor walks the plank and dives into the water. Again, Ophelia died by drowning. Now, some have criticized the lyrics of the song for not properly understanding the plot of Shakespeare's Hamlet or the play's themes. I'm not going to get into that here. I am on a singular mission just to find Easter eggs. Years ago, I got this unexpected payment for a job I had finished a long time ago. For me, someone who's naturally anxious about money, that felt like a safety net. My first thought was, great, this will help if things get tight later on. But then a friend of mine who isn't nearly as anxious about money told me, you should splurge, buy yourself a new PlayStation. So I did. And the second that money was gone, the regret set in. I couldn't stop thinking about how I should have saved it. Instead of feeling relieved, I ended up more stressed than before, losing sleep, worrying about bills, and kicking myself for making that choice. That advice worked for him, but it created more anxiety for me. And that's the thing. Anyone can give you advice, but that doesn't mean it's the right advice for you. That's why I'm glad BetterHelp is sponsoring today's video, and they are on a mission to make starting therapy easier. Unlike friends or strangers who mean well but don't fully understand your situation, therapy gives you a safe space with someone trained to help you work through what you're going through. I know firsthand how much the right fit matters. I once worked with a therapist who just wasn't right for me. Their approach left me feeling unheard and stuck, but later when I found the right therapist, everything changed, and it created an environment where I could work through my problems honestly without self-censoring. I could finally open up honestly and start making progress. That's why BetterHelp created the Therapist Match Commitment to take the guesswork out of finding the right therapist. Instead of leaving you to figure it out alone, BetterHelp uses over a decade of matching expertise, clinical experience, and your preferences to match you with someone who makes sense for you. And if it's not working out, you can switch anytime at no extra cost. Therapy has made such a difference in my life, and it can do the same for you. So if you've ever felt stuck with advice that didn't help, BetterHelp makes it easier to find the right kind of support. You can get started today by clicking on the link in the description or by visiting betterhelp.com/newrockstars, and you will get 10% off your first month of therapy. 43. Also, we should acknowledge that one of the most memorable moments of Eras was when Taylor dove into the pool of water and made us all think that she swam the full length of the pick six my boys from Duval scored on her men's team this week. Who did I make that joke for? Anybody watching this video currently? I doubt it. 44. Now Taylor is part of some synchronized swimming choreography, a reference to another famous showgirl, Esther Williams from 1944's Bathing Beauty, which the Coen brothers referenced with Scarlett Johansson in the movie Hail Caesar. Though with the risers here, it's also kind of like 1933's Footlight Parade, as Taylor Swift did reference Busby Berkeley in her behind the scenes movie for this. 45. The teal pom-pom sleeves are a reference to the jacket she wore for Karma. 46. I actually counted 47 people in this shot, and Ophelia dies in Act 4, Scene 7 of Hamlet. Number 47, we see this chalkboard, Sequins Are Forever, a reference to the title track of this album. 48, it's featuring Kitty Finlay. Taylor's grandmother Marjorie had the name Marjorie Finlay. And then where did they get Kitty? Number 49, Taylor's mother Andrea has a Great Dane named Kitty. 50, we see it's Take 100, which is a nod to the lyric of this song, Keep It 100. This is kind of a reference to Travis Kelce's Instagram post on July 24th, which had the caption, had some adventures this offseason, kept it 100. 51, also the fact that it's 100 takes is also kind of like a production joke here, because this is all presented to be a very complex long take that they probably did in multiple takes, but the idea that it would take them 100 tries to get it right is also just kind of funny. 52, this might be some crazy numerology here, but 100 is the sum of Travis's number 87 with Taylor's lucky number of 13. Also, 13 is going to be the number of the next album, so there's something there. 53, in the rope look, we see some letters on the back wall, starting with RTF for Ruin the Friendship. All these are letters representing other songs. AR is for Actually Romantic, WL for Wish List, W for Wood, C for Cancelled, H for Honey, and TLOAS for The Life of a Showgirl. And then on the right, you see a poster referencing the title track lyric, Sequins Are Forever. And then at the bottom of that poster, you see Sabrina Carpenter Dazzled. 62, you see Taylor Swift Bejeweled. In 63, you see Sleepless in the Onyx Night. Detail 64, Taylor rises to the stage where she now dons the classic showgirl look, and she's wearing orange feather plumage, as in she is now the free bird. I keep yelling it like the Leonard Skinner reference, and I'm allowed to do that because they're from my hometown of Jacksonville. And not only that, they got their band name, naming it off of their PE teacher that they didn't like, Leonard Skinner, who was my family's next door neighbor. 65, now that we're backstage, the aquamarine jacket is a reference to her look in the Lavender Haze music video, but also detail 66, it's also similar to the fluffy aquamarine jacket that Blake Lively wore in the movie Another Simple Favor. 67, some are saying Taylor's dress underneath that jacket is a reference to Blake Lively's dress in this photo. 68, the dancer coming through the door has a pink bag with a tiny chihuahua, a reference to the Chihuahua line in Actually Romantic, which is of course a Legally Blonde reference, the lyric being like a toy chihuahua barking at me from a tiny purse. 69, all of the dancers here are of course her dancers from the Eras tour, which I referenced throughout this video, but we should really just celebrate it here. 70, the band here is Taylor's band from the Eras tour, including Taylor Swift's two longest serving band members, Amos Heller, who plays bass, and Paul Sidoti, lead guitar and vocals, who have been with her since 2007, while drummer Matt Bellingsia joined during the 2013 Red tour. 71, the detail on the left in the hallway here shakes his long hair before the camera turns into that bedroom, which Abby said was a nod to the Shake It Off performance in the Eras tour when Taylor was like, the fella over there with his hella good hair, and it was this same dancer who then whipped his hair on Shake, Shake, Shake. And he's kind of doing that here. Detail 72, Taylor catches a football here, a completion probably after there was some offensive holding by Kansas City that the refs definitely did not call. 73, the hotel room number is 87, of course Travis Kelce's number. Number 74, a pretty goofy detail here, the upright bass player put his bellhop hat on top of it. Detail 75, this bedroom party recalls the party in We Are Never Getting Back Together's music video, in which Taylor runs to the window in that music video, but here the paparazzi block the path of the window, which is why Taylor instead has to run into the bathroom. Detail 76, in that bathroom, that orange bird is on the windowsill and flaps away. Free bird! 77, if you look in the exterior beyond that window, it shows a Ferris wheel, which could be the Ferris wheel of Santa Monica, the Ferris wheel in Vancouver, maybe the London Eye, maybe a clue there for where her next tour could begin. 78, there is a golden statuette on the floor, a reference to Wish List. 79, Taylor ending the music video in a bathtub with the water right up to her face, but not submerging her mouth or nose, is of course another Ophelia drowning reference, but Taylor did not drown. She made made it! 80, Taylor Floating in the Water is also the OG cover of the album. In Detail 81, I think you could also interpret this whole song in its music video as, in a way, Taylor's thematic response to Britney Spears' Lucky, which also told the story of a showgirl in crisis. But Britney, of course, was a performer that Taylor looked up to and learned from, lessons that she's now applying to her story in this music video. Okay, those are the details that I spotted, and I feel like, you know, if Taylor's just throwing out 100-ish, 81 is a perfectly valid number to get to. But comment down below if, you know, you feel like I missed something or got anything wrong. But I do want to thank New Rockstars team members Abby Freel and Patti Chambers for their research help with this video. And if you like this video, if you're new to New Rockstars does normally cover Easter eggs and news from the nerdy fandoms, but we do have a really fun network of channels that I think you'd like our Witching Hour horror channel with Jessica, Gina, and myself, as well as our break room panel discussion channel. We do a lot of really fun stuff here, so I ask you, consider subscribing. Comment down below with your thoughts on all this, and a special thanks to one of our YouTube members, Marisa Miranda, for supporting us at the executive producer level. Follow me at Erik Voss and subscribe to all the channels in the New Rockstars network for breakdowns and news coverage of everything you love. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.